Cool. Well, thank you so much for submitting a bad day to harvest, and I'll go ahead and get started. Actually, let me just read the tutorial here. So, movement cards to move the player, action cards to perform actions on the field. Um, Protect your crops until they reach their full height and harvest them. Okay. Arrows show the direction in which the next climate event will strike. Okay. Number indicates how many turns there are until it strikes. Okay, okay. Then you use nets to block the climate event moving in the corresponding direction. Okay. Water makes the crop grow by one. The net card places a net which blocks the event moving in the same direction. Yeah, that's what was mentioned over here. And then the harvest card will harvest one fully grown crop and make two new crops appear. If used on a non fully grown crop, it will die. Okay, so don't try to avoid the misclick there. Got it. All right. So I'll go ahead and full screen this. And maybe if I zoom out to a different resolution and then hit full screen? No, unfortunately, I still get the lines on the full screen. Um, but
Yep, that's that.
well, I'll share the tileset champion with you, and then you can buffer the tile sets and worry about this no more. All right.
That's great.
So, do you want to talk a little bit about your background in development?
Yeah, sure. So I'm actually like a backend developer, and
Mm-hmm.
I do mostly platform and backend engineering. So I have been programming less and less since like I'm more into management right now.
Mm-hmm.
So game jams are like my moment to go back and program a bit. Like I really love game jams, and so I actually do game jams like 3 or 4 times a year,
Mm-hmm.
uh, just for the fans.
Nice.
I don't really plan on doing a lot of commercial things, but I don't. It's fun. I live in Argentina, and I'm 32, and I've been on the software industry like since I was 21, so like 11 years. Um, and I guess that's it. I have a bachelor's degree in computer science, but I don't really use that, but it's there.
So, did you end up like the so your area of study is that um, different from the sort of back end development that you do on a day to day basis?
Um, what do you mean, like in? Uh,
Oh, just insofar as you said that you don't end up using your degree, but
no, I mean like nobody really pays attention to it. Like
ah,
I, so I have it, and but we founded like our own software company a few years ago. So
mhm,
uh, and I'm not being asked for a degree anymore. So I used to do research. That's when I did use it,
mhm.
and but I don't do that anymore. I still do teach computer science at our university, so that's like another place where I use it.
Hmm. Am I using these nets correctly?
Oh yeah, the nets are supposed to like block the climate event in the same direction as the arrow show. So if you have like a event
Oh,
that goes from right like to left to right or right to left, like in this case, you have to put that net exactly, and it will cover the event. The like the hail, it will
mhm.
destroy the nets anyway, no matter what direction they are
I see.
pointing, and it will also strike you. You have like 3 lives that are marked on the top right.
Yeah.
Um, but the idea is like if you put yeah, like you see like it grayed out.
Hmm.
The grayed area, it's like it's covered, so it won't strike there. The
Yeah.
storm will stop on that tile.
Okay, so
And
most of the time you actually can't block the events unless you have the exactly correct net type card.
exactly, but you can like work preemptively and
Mhm,
place nets like where you think that may strike, may like a storm may occur,
mhm.
uh, and you can block them in the future.
So what about the neutral net card?
That one just covers one slot. It didn't end up being like very clear, so people thought that it was like a Joker, like
Mm,
you could block any direction, but
right.
no, that wasn't the idea.
So I can
But
drop it on this individual plant to protect this one.
exactly,
Got it. Okay, so now it's going to be protected even though this climate event is going to fall down here. Okay, got it.
exactly. It will
All
break in the
right.
process, but it will be covered.
Mm-hmm. And then similarly, I can come up here and I can use this net here, block that off. Um, so did you really want the player to most of the time not be able to um, deal with the climate events?
Um, One of the things that I didn't really manage to implement was like when you harvest a crop, it will give you a seed card.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't just like populate the surrounding tiles, and
Mm-hmm.
you could place that wherever you wanted. So that would add more variety to the deck. So that would actually make it a little bit more interesting. Um, what I wanted was like if you do not have the correct net, uh, you would be forced to do something else. So that
Mm-hmm.
something else should have added like a bit of variety, like something
Mm-hmm.
that could actually help, but not be exactly what you wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think that fell a bit short, mainly because there's not that much variety of cards. But I think that it could be extended eventually.
Yeah. So have you thought about trying the game where the nets sort of work no matter what? Like no matter what direction you're going in?
I did not, but that would be a nice test.
Mm,
Or maybe the thing that people suggested that like the regular net was like a choker that could block any direction. That I think that would be interesting to test too.
yeah, the main reason I ask is because it seems like right now, I've got three downward facing nets, but no, no good place to use them. Like I know you said I can use them preemptively, but then they get destroyed if I put them in the path of danger, like I just did. Um, so now I could use them, and this is actually going to be important. So let's move to here, drop a net there, protect these guys. Um, just because, yeah, I think that having the ability to um, use the nets more frequently would really help.
Yeah, and in my head, like when I was
Mhm.
thinking about the game, I was like thinking like from some elements like from oh I missed the name the robot games, the where you are there's turn-based combat. I
Hmm.
missed the name. Let me find it, and I'll.
Sure.
It's a very long game, but I wanted the idea was like the event was announced with a few turns before it actually happened, so you would have
Hmm.
time to plan and do something about it. Um, and so that was like the main idea behind it. So it was supposed to be um, fair,
Hmm.
but well, I think into the bridge. Yeah, thanks, Malad, bro. I meant like in my head it was like getting some ideas from Into the Bridge,
Hmm.
but of course it fell short. I mean, but it's a compo game, so
Yeah, of course. I mean, I love Into the Breach, and I do like the idea of trying to like randomize what you're able to do with the cards. It's just because of the fact that the net cards are so specific in their role. I think it makes them a little too difficult to use. So I'd love to see a version of the game where um, and the other thing is the movement cards that you have as well are like you only ever get this one that moves you sort of over and to the like up and to the left or down and to the right. And like, is there a reason you don't have the sort of opposite version of that?
uh the only reason is because I missed it,
Oh, okay.
and but it was fairly easy to add more cards, so I could add it eventually.
Hmm.
But yeah, once I actually got like uh, playing it, I got stuck in a
Hmm.
in a way that I couldn't actually do anything because I was on the lower corner, and I had all the same cards, so I couldn't move in any direction. So
Hmm.
I guess that there's also a lot of things with the RNG that needs to be adjusted. I actually adjust the harvest probability earlier this morning because
Hmm.
it sometimes you would actually even end up without anything to do.
Hmm.
So the idea is now that you always have one harvest card unless you just used it. So
Hmm.
if you use
Hmm.
like something else, that yeah, there you go, a new harvest card will appear. So that was adjust, but there's a lot of things that needs to be adjusted. There's also a bug that you could actually harvest one crop that's not that's in the previous stage because
Hmm.
the growing part happens first.
Hmm.
So when you actually use the site, uh, you harvest and it's fully grown, but it
Right.
wasn't
Yeah, because it's just the order of the operations as you execute them.
exactly.
Hmm. All right. But yeah, so like right now, unfortunately, like I conceptually really like the idea of using the nets, and I have a whole bunch of nets that I can use. Um, oh, you know what I think would be really neat is if you let the player take turns. Remember, in Into the Breach, right? You move and perform an action on your turn. So what if you let the player do something like that here, where you let them move and use a net on, or do something on the same turn?
On my first draft,
Hmm.
what I wrote that I wanted to do, um, what I actually wanted it was like you had five possible actions and you could only pick three,
Hmm.
and you were able to perform those three. That would create like an action plan,
Hmm.
and the plan will execute on the turn. But it was a bit too hard to implement, so I actually ended up making it simpler.
Hmm.
But that actually crossed my mind. I never managed to implement it, so I could actually try it to making that version.
Yeah, I think it would be a little easier on the player to have the ability to both pick one movement and then one action, and then let them apply the movement first, and then the action, and then the turn clicks over. Because um, a lot of the time, it can just be a little too hard to get uh, far enough. Like if I really want to prevent a disaster, I want to be like as close to the far right side to prevent this particular disaster as possible, but it would take a lot of movement for me to get over there. So, maybe I could use this card and then drop the net, but then I have so few turns before it happens as well. And yeah, so I think that just the combination of having to do both makes it tough. So yeah, that's why I would love to see a version of this where the nets can be used to block anything. And you can move and then use an action without it taking up a turn. Um, Maybe add the ability to, like, one of your actions could be to scrap your hand and get a new hand as well. Like if you had to sort of take your entire turn to just get rid of what you have and draw a new set.
Okay, I'm writing
Um,
it down.
sure. Well, don't worry. I'm always going to save each of these as a VOD so you can review it. But yeah, please take your time if you think it's actually a good idea.
Oh yeah, like one of the things that actually happened on this particular Ludum Dare is I always do have fun, but
Hmm.
this one was like fun to implement for some reason. I don't know. I took some good decisions on how to add cards on quickly,
Hmm.
so it ended up being fun to add content. Um, so I could actually add content like fairly easy.
Mhm.
So, but well, of course, I ran out of time to add more
Mhm.
content, but I think it was really fun.
Nice. I'm really glad to hear that. So Mallard Bro is suggesting if you're doing two actions, would you reduce the number of cards available each turn? In my mind, I wouldn't want to make any guesses as because what I'm suggesting radically changes the balance of the game. So I wouldn't want to start messing with the design until I saw what impact those changes had. If it then feels like you have like too much control over the circumstances, then yeah, you can start to dial it back and give the player fewer options. But I think if you reduce the net cards, like if you don't if you get rid of the direction net cards, then it becomes too easy. But then maybe if you can move and use a directional net card in the same turn, then maybe the directional net cards make sense. So I think the very first thing that makes sense to me to try changing is the uh, getting to move and use an action card on the same turn. See how that changes the balance of things. Then, if it still feels like it's too difficult to prevent the natural disasters, that's when you can decide to switch the net cards into like all the same type, so that you don't have to use directional net cards anymore. Um, but it really just it depends on where you want the challenge in the game to be. Um,
One of the things that I think would happen
mhm.
that needs to be remedied somehow,
Yeah,
if I remove the directional cards, that like the deck would have 4 cards, so the
exactly.
I
Yeah.
should add like more variety.
Hmm. So, and that's why I'm saying I wouldn't want to necessarily get rid of the directional net cards until you saw what impact the move first action afterwards would have, because maybe that's all it needs to make it a little easier to control. Um, because if you're specifically drawing on Into the Breach as a inspiration. One of the things I really loved about that game was the fact that it gave you a lot of control over um, what you were doing. Like you could really plan on something and execute on it. Um, but with this game, it's hard to really plan on something. I'm more sort of just reacting and moving around things. Um, so yeah, I just want to see like right now I have four nets that all move in the are all pointing in the same direction, so there's not much I could do with those.
Yeah, one other thing that I actually had in mind, but
Hmm.
it was like down in the backlog, was like a storm should have a probability of happening.
Hmm.
Uh, like, and that could be feasible for like, I don't know, 99% chance of having an event here, or 60% chance. So that would actually create some sort of risk reward.
Hmm.
Like, do I actually go and block that storm, or maybe it would never happen?
Hmm.
That that could probably be added too.
Yeah, I think that. So have you seen the GMTK input and output randomness?
I think I did, but I don't actually remember
Sure. Well,
right
so
now.
just to quickly recap the way that it's supposed to work is that you have things that are input randomness. Um, you know what? The way that I prefer to call it is free action luck, post action luck. So free action luck is the hand of cards that you draw, and that is completely outside of your control. And um, then you have post action luck, where let's say I play a card and the effects of the card were random. Like the sort of classic example is if you're playing the card game Hearthstone and you play a card that says deal 3 damage split randomly among your targets. Well, then you're just really hoping that those damage points end up getting doled out in the way that you want them to be. So that's that's something you have very little control over as a player. And I think that Into the Breach is really great because all of the randomness is pre action. because everything that is random is like the enemy movements. That all happens before the player gets to take their turn, and you get the sort of like perfect information. So it feels really satisfying to see, like, oh, okay, so that's what's happened, and then here's what we can do to control the situation, even up to the point of like rewinding time and taking another chance at something, because you miscalculated, not because something went the way you weren't hoping. And the one example of post action luck that I left in the game was the buildings, where if an enemy attacks a building, it has a small percent chance of resisting damage. And that felt better because if there's a small percent chance that something uh, good happens, but you're not expecting it to, rather than a larger percent chance of something bad happening. Um, because if you tell me that a storm is only going to demolish my crop 60% of the time, I'm basically always going to count on that happening. I It would be better if you had a small percent chance of a storm kind of not damaging the crops, which I guess those are kind of the same thing. Um, but the less you count on the the good thing happening randomly, usually the better, because you feel better when a small bit of luck like goes your way when you weren't expecting it to, and than you do if like a something that you're really hoping for, like the classic thing is XCOM, where you've got like a 90% chance to hit something and you miss, and it's like, are you kidding me? Well, yeah, I mean 90%, 1 in 10. You if you actually understand statistics, you know that, like, yeah, of course it happens. But then there are other games that take that 90% chance and actually crank it up to 99% behind the scenes, because they know that when you see 90%, you actually are thinking it's closer to 99% in your own brain, because we're just, humans aren't very good at statistics that way. Oh
I
no, I
see.
got myself killed. I wasn't thinking. Oh, great.
Well, yeah, I think that's really interesting. I wanted to extend it like a bit more, but
Mhm.
so I have been thinking a few ideas. Maybe just adding like something, not like to publish it or anything, but to make it
Mhm.
like a more fun game.
Mhm.
So that's why I actually created the this version. Like
Yeah.
I had fun with it, so I wanted to extend it to show what I actually was going for.
Yeah, nice. And if you do end up making some of those changes, then I'd love to see like what impact that has on the gameplay. But I also know that this is mostly just for the sake of the jam, and you're not a game developer, as you said. You're a backend developer. So do you not usually have time to work on this sort of projects?
Um, Not really. Like I have full time doing my daily job,
Hmm.
but anyway, I mean, besides that, we have a community here,
Hmm.
a which is from our city, and we kind of gather and make game dev related stuff regularly, but
Nice.
not to a commercial extent. Yet
Hmm.
there are a few tries. We are trying to create a sort of studio here
Hmm.
and try to publish at least one game,
Nice.
and it's coming along. So it's like I not it's not that I discard the fact of doing game dev
Hmm.
all the time or for a living. It's something that right now it's not on my top priorities, but it
Hmm.
would be great. I think it would be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That's done in Argentina, right?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'd certainly love to see if you do have more time to put into this particular project, or if you end up just working on something else that has similar mechanics but a different theme, on maybe a different champ. I'd certainly love to see it.
Sure. I mostly do on my game jams. I mostly
Hmm.
do puzzle games. Uh, so I think most of my games like go on that direction. So I wanted to try something a bit different this time, like doing something more strategy like, or
Hmm.
not really a puzzle game. Plus the theme wasn't actually uh, ringing any bells in puzzle
Hmm.
design, so I went with this one, which it's not really strong on the theme either, but
Yeah.
uh, at least I wanted to make it like uh, something different. I try to
Hmm.
do different stuff for my champ, since like I do it for the fun. I try to do different stuff,
Yeah, excellent. Well,
but
thank you
most
so
of my
much.
games would go on this direction.
Okay, sure. And I'm not like great at puzzle games, but I'm always happy to give them a try. So, um, yeah, if you ever would like to submit anything else to the stream, like please feel free, and also just share the games on the Discord, and then other members can give their feedback on the project.
Oh, okay, sure. I'll send them over, and if I do those changes, I tell you so you can give it a go.
Sounds good. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining me on the stream here today. I'll make sure to repost the link to the game so other people can try it out. Mallard Bro, thank
Okay.
you. Yeah, this has indeed been a fun discussion.
Thanks a lot to you for playing it, and for the feedback. Like, it was like
Absolutely.
very very interesting, and as Mallard said, it was like a really cool discussion.
Absolutely. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and hopefully we get to talk again soon.
Thank you very much. See
All
you.
right. Yeah. Bye bye.
Bye bye.